Sorry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another session of Best of the Past. Last session, the party, excluding Caylona, made their way up to the city, or what was supposed to be a city, known as Mbala. When they found it, it looked completely abandoned. There were no longer any people there except for one old woman named Nanny Poo Poo, who turned out to be Night Hag. And after making a deal with her, she left along with the large corpse-like creature that was with her. And now party is alone in Mabala. As you are sitting here, the warmth and humidity of the Colton night surrounding you, you can see fairly far, even though it's dark, because it's a somewhat clear night. And you're on the tallest point you've been. This plateau is incredibly far up. And as you're looking back out, you can see that you're at about the peak right now, and then it heads slowly downward as it goes back into the jungles. You can see that there's this massive mountain range out in the direction that you're facing, which is west, in case you're curious about that. And
Darn it, we were so close to east.
We are
if
180 degrees off of east. We are not so close.
you can hear just the sounds of the jungle, but they're much more distant than they are. Out behind you, you can see the entirety of the Aldani Basin, or at least little bits of it, reflecting little bits of star reflecting in the moonlight. As you sit down, you can just hear the crunch of stones underneath you, broken cobblestones and what used to be pathways. The longer you've been here, the more you've realized that there were a lot more houses here than you originally thought. And now all that's left are small foundations, and they extend pretty far outwards. Most of them are somewhat buried in the mud and foliage that covers the jungle. Even though up this high there aren't as many trees, you're actually above the canopy itself. There are still some, but it's more vines reaches up above you or around you. What would y'all like to do?
We already searched some of the houses to find a little bit of anti-bug candle.
Didn't we find one of those like big blocks of anti-bug and then you debated on how to light it and you were like, "Hey, Div."
Yeah, can I just put this in you and you're like a big anti-bug humidifier?
Be in his range.
Anti-bug.
He creates an anti-bug shield.
Yeah.
Within range.
Marcius has retired, let's say, behind like the nearest large boulder, where he was generally out of sight. The party all kind of split up once the hag disappeared, if I remember correctly. But he still's kind of gotten himself as far away from the sensations of the rest of the world as he can on one leg. And he just kind of like rests his head up against it, pulls his knees up to his chest. He can't really hear anything, or rather he can hear too many things, just whispers and like 1,000 overlapping nothingnesses in languages he shouldn't know. Patterns of black and red appear and disappear on his skin, making him dizzy every time he looks down. When he tries to take a breath, he finds no substance no muscular movement inside of him at all. All the voices in his head are clamoring for attention, and when he growls at them to shut up, they ignore him. He's just one imaginary voice amongst all the others. One of them is crying, another one is repeating a name over and over as if it might forget it otherwise. Pathetic, says one that sounds a lot like his own. The least of all of our fictions. You had one purpose and you failed. What exactly is the point of you? Marcius tries to think about his squad, about Lucas and Sunita and Flinter and Shar, and about Dan Kieran. And for this terrifying moment, he can't remember. He feels something snatch the memory away from him with a smug ease. And he's just like left alone in the nothingness of what he doesn't even know he's lost. Kind of helpless, trapped and powerless, more trapped than he knows how to express. The memories return then with the tail end of a laugh. He trembles with the relief of their return, that mercy almost that he's been granted. And recognizing mercy, he does what any prisoner would. Thank you, flame, he thinks, curled tight around the parts of his soul he's been permitted to keep. The whispers don't stop, though. So weak, they say, so useless. And Marcius lets out a quiet, helpless noise, the scream of someone who's forgotten what reality really sounds like, and then slams his head backwards against the boulder as hard as he can, with the intent to knock himself unconscious. Do I have to roll for that?
I'd say so.
Oh. To hit, or like, am I? If I punch myself,
Athletics
am
check.
I strong? Okay. Athletics.
Could I make like a passive
15,
check?
16.
Yeah, sure can.
Cool.
Uh,
Just to notice, just to see if I can get things.
Div is actively like checking on people, by the way. Like, if I remember correctly, he already healed Nephis from the jungle cooties. So now he's just making rounds to make sure everybody else is okay.
Don't mind me, I'm looting this abandoned town.
Are you hurt though? That's all I care about.
Physically, no.
Okay,
Zephyrus, what'd you
then
get
I'm
on that
moving
check?
on.
I got a 12.
A 12. You do hear a sound that sounds like a crack against rock. Marcius, what was that
I
athletics
got a
check you said?
17.
Oh god.
I'll say that works. You are out.
I am out cold.
I'm gonna go in the direction of the noise.
Just retired from life.
All right, Zephyrus, you walk in that direction and you see Marcius is lying there.
It's not visibly Marcius anymore.
Okay.
Just so you know, because I'm unconscious, I've reverted to the silver mannequin-esque creature.
And you can see that there is a small spot of blood on the rock right behind them.
Oh gods. Zephyrus doesn't really know what to do first in the situation. He's going to like I guess kneel down, make sure that they're still alive.
There.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Okay, all right. He feels a bit helpless in the situation. I guess he's going to take off like his jacket slash vest thing that he wears and kind of props up their head on it like a pillow, kind of like folds it so that it's at least comfortable for the time being. And try to maneuver them into like a more comfortable spot rather than like slumped next to the rock. Maybe move them onto the ground, propped up somewhere, and then he's gonna go get Div. Div. Div.
Mom.
Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared.
Div is probably checking in on Izaka.
She is fine. She has bruises along the side of her face, which is a little surprising to her, but she's not very injured at all.
Okay, that's good.
Interesting that.
He's like making sure Izaka's okay, then Zephyrus just comes running over.
Div, someone's not okay.
Who is not okay?
I believe the Constellation they are not having a good time. I'm not sure what to do. They're unconscious currently, possibly self-inflicted. I'm a bit worried, which is just a normal state of being for me in this day and age, it seems, but I don't know. They are alive. I propped them up in a comfortable spot. I hope that was the right thing to do. I'm not sure if this happens often.
Show me.
I show him. Right there. Right over there.
There.
You go over there, Div, and you can see the constellation lying back. You can roll me a medicine check if you want to figure out exactly what you think happened here.
Sure, I will do that thing.
I did.
We're a little rusty. We're a little rusty. That's a 13.
So with a 13, it seems like Zephyrus's assessment is probably about accurate. It looks to be that there was nothing else that could have caused this. And from the position that Zephyrus described them as being in, where you can see the blood on the rock, self-inflicted, does seem to be a definite possibility.
Okay. Can I check them for like any other like extensive damage? Like anything that would need healing?
You can. You think if you were to heal them, you could probably bring them back to consciousness. There's like a small gash in the back. Most of it is, I mean, getting your head slammed against a rock hard enough to get knocked unconscious is not good for you. So if there was some healing in there, that would not cause any harm.
Okay, we're gonna do that then. We're just gonna, like, yeah, Div is gonna like crouch by them, and he's gonna do a little bit of healing wording because he's so very worried.
All right.
That's seven points of good.
That'll bring you back up, Mars, or whoever you are right now. Whatever you wake up as.
The Div's magic sort of dissolves along the silver skin of the constellation, and they sort of twitch. And for a moment, the like face that blinks up at you has pure white eyes and russet hair, and is very, very young. And they reach up to wrap a hand around your wrist, Div, and say, "Help." And then they're gone. And Marcius rolls onto his side and starts coughing. I'm getting called. 1 second.
How could you do this? The drama. The intrigue.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Sorry, slight crises going on in Jackson on this fine day, but we're fine now. Marcius sort of opens his eyes and looks very disappointed to be doing so. He says, "It's so loud. Why did you do that?"
I am worried about you. Are you okay?
No, I'm not. When I touch you, I consider stabbing you in the back, and he thinks it's funny. He's playing with me right now, and I want him to stop. I need him to stop. You have to, please, make him stop.
Div hesitates for a second. He's still like half outstretched from when he cast his spell. He kind of uh he considers for a moment, and then he shifts forward and like as gingerly as possible so that his scales aren't quite fully touching Marcius's skin lest he burn him. He hugs Marcius.
You feel Marcius's chest hitch in a sob. He says, "I didn't mean to act like I knew you. I thought that those memories were real, but I'm sorry if I was wrong. Maybe I don't know anything. You were real, right? Everything can still be okay."
I am real, and you are real. I'm
Was New
sorry.
Syri real?
Yes, it was.
Good. You didn't do anything wrong. I know that you were just trying to keep us all alive.
I'm still sorry for. I should not have lashed out at you. I did not mean what I said.
You didn't say anything that probably wasn't true. I can't trust anything in my head, anything I'm remembering, anything that I'm hearing even now. This could all be a dream. It's very odd. It's very odd not to be real.
I assure you this is no dream.
There's a pause, the pause of someone who clearly doesn't believe you, but doesn't really have any logical evidence for or against the fact. Marcius nods.
Marcius,
Yeah.
you see sitting on a rock just behind, like above Divis for just a split second. There's a faint bluish glow. Humanoid. And then you blink and it's gone.
Marcius assumes he's hallucinating and doesn't pay it much attention.
Fair, I
Also,
think.
Tobin, could I have you roll me a d10?
I will roll you a
voices.
d10, Scott. I would do anything for you. That would be a 1.
Oh
Okay.
no.
That's interesting.
But it's a detail.
Anyway,
Oh no.
as you were.
Any
Anyway, we were
That's
just gonna
scary.
move past that.
cool.
Marcius reaches up and rubs at his eyes. He's seeing things now, or perhaps he has been for a while. He says, I don't mean to put all of this, and by this, I mean, he gestures at himself, all of us into your hands. I know that you suffer. And I know that you've suffered alone, but you don't have to. You don't have to be strong for everyone, Div.
Marcius, you know everyone is counting on me.
No, they're counting on all of us. We're a team. That's what you told me in New Siri. And you just told me that wasn't a dream.
No, it was not a dream. Marcius, there is much I want to say to you. You are my friend. I do not want to hurt you. I know what he kind of catches himself, his grip kind of tightening a little bit. I do not want to lose you
If it was all real.
I have to make sure everyone is okay, including you.
And we have to do the same for you. That's how squads work. And if I imagined all of that, then I did a very good job making it feel just as painful as this is. And maybe we can learn things from dreams. And I learned how to rely on people. I learned how to let people rely on me. That's what a captain does. So tell me, what do you know? How can we help?
Div is quiet for a moment. The kind of his core kind of beating a little audibly in his chest as the space between his plating kind of vents steam. He says, I know what he is, the thing claiming to be a god.
Marcius is gone.
Oh no.
And Pamakani hugs you fully, Div, just up into the point that you can smell like flesh starting to sizzle, and then he pushes you away and starts laughing.
Yeah, Div kind of like sits really hard back on his tail. He kind of looks at his arms, taking a second to like register what he's smelling. He goes to wipe it away with like a screech of scraping metal.
Well, that was just sweet, wasn't it? Pamakani laughs. This has been so fun. I really did hope it would go longer. He really thinks so quickly when he's suffering. So you know what I am? How can I help you?
What do you mean?
Surely you have some sort of intention. You want to help me.
I do.
And maybe we can make a little exchange out of it. Makes it so much easier if you want something in return. See? Makes for a better story at the end. Mir Sandra will be pleased.
I want my friends safe. All of them.
Safe. I'm going to need you to define that word.
I suppose it's fitting you wouldn't understand it.
I'm perfectly safe. I have 4 bodies you love as shields between me and whatever you could think to do. Do you want them reshuffled? Do you want me to move Marcius a few back in the line? I'm afraid Lyra won't be easily reachable for quite some time now, but I could put Mirsandra on the front if you needed. I could even put the angel.
I do not need to pry. If they want to tell me, they will tell me.
Tell you what, What do they know that's possibly important? You already know what matters most. What I am.
That it matters to the gods what you are.
The gods. It's so sweet what makes you feel safe. I admire it, I suppose. It's very comforting to be a follower of gods. It takes real bravery and sacrifice to become one of them.
You are not a god.
We'll see about that. Zephyrus.
Zephyrus steps out from behind the rock and he's been casually standing. Yes, Kamakani. Hello.
Be a darling and go get me some wood, possibly some mud, any small sharp-edged stones you can find. They'll all be useful. Oh, come now, don't look at me like that. We'll all benefit from it. After all, Marcius isn't quite skilled enough in anything to figure out how to deal with this. And he gestures to the stump of a leg.
Sure.
Thank you.
He flips him the bird as he walks away. Yeah, Zeph is gonna go see if he can find some objects. He probably grabs the leg that he already made just to see if that's anything.
Kamakani watches him go, sort of snorts. He says, "Oh, it would have been so fun to kill him when I had the chance. He reminds me of a few people, you know. So do you, Div, but worse ones."
Are you trying to get a rise out of me?
Yes. You're exceedingly boring sometimes.
It has been my job to be exceedingly boring.
Well, then your gods will be glad to know you've been fulfilling your purpose in life.
What do you want?
What do I want? I would like to find Caylona.
What for?
Kamakani sort of sighs. Influence, mostly. I don't like to back out of dares. Pacts,
Do you want to get rid of her because she
agreements.
also knows?
Knows about me? Oh, I couldn't care less. There's nothing you can do.
She's the one who told me everything, you know? It is...
She's the one that's knocking about in here. You can't just go carding your little lying fingers through my angel's head and not leave a mark. Something very physical. Oh, the angel hates. He kind of smiles. But don't worry, I won't let that betrayal get out. It would ruin morale.
Div kind of just he just shifts, kind of composes himself a little bit. He's still staring at Kamakani. His features kind of they seem to shift between his normal, more docile self and something more monstrous, though it's probably just a trick of the light of his inner glow. He's watching Kamakani very intently.
Scott, you're muted.
You get back with the materials of wood, Zephyrus,
Yeah.
and the pile of stuff.
Yeah. Zephyrus is going to unceremoniously dump the crap next to Kamakani.
Kamakani smiles smugly at you. Oh, that was very obedient. Thank you, Zephyrus. And then he's going to start fashioning a prosthetic leg out of that. I do have infusions that are available for that. So magic prosthetic leg time. It takes an hour, so I can sit here and antagonize people while I'm working.
I can antagonize you right back.
Yeah, Tamakani kind of flicks his wrist, and what were once Liru's tinkering tools, made of antler bone, sort of fall into place along his hands, and he starts messing around with the leg, or with the wood and stuff. So, Div, are you going to share any secrets?
Div, you don't have to. Here, right now. We'll have woods later.
Well, he knows what he is. And you were listening. And you're here.
I'm just saying you don't owe it to me. You had your
Do
reason.
you want to know?
I would.
Zephyrus is like, please tell me what's going on.
I really would, believe me. But I just he's getting satisfaction from you telling me, so it's making me feel like I shouldn't hear it yet. Maybe when we're not being held captive by a lovely individual. Yeah.
Kamakani salutes very specifically. He gives you the Iandarian salute.
He does. Of course he freaking does. Zephyrus's eye starts glowing. I guess he just glares daggers at him.
Div is tightly gripping his mace again. At some point, when Zephyrus was gone, he grabbed it off of his back again. His claws kind of tighten even further around its well-molded pommel as he says, Kamakani is a lich. He is not a god.
Well, that complicates things. Not this one. The other one, right?
The other one is the body. Yes. This one is...
Kamakani, there's
Hi.
only one of you, by the way, as far as you're concerned. You know
I
there's
don't
only
say
one
anything.
Kamakani.
This one is... the soul, the peace.
That's not good, is it?
No, not particularly.
Amakani chuckles. Very innocent of you to think you could ever separate us.
It's just eternally sitting there like, bold of you to assume I have a plan.
This sucks. This right here, this situation is not nice. Too deep. He's just kind of remarking this to himself. He's not really particularly talking to anybody, but he kind of like rubs his forehead a bit. Gods.
It is okay, Zephyrus. I will handle him.
I will help you in every way that I can. Because as Marcia said earlier, we're all in this together. We should all be helping each other. So I'm here for you. I'm not here for you. Points to Kamakani.
Kamakani just sort of waves. He says, "Don't worry, Zephyrus. I can manage all your secrets when the time comes too."
Goes and like punches a tree. Back. He addresses Div. What do we need to do?
What we need to do is find our missing companion.
Was I asking you? I was addressing my good friend Div. Not you. I'm sorry.
My apologies. I didn't mean to interrupt your little conversation. I'll just sit here and listen.
Good.
Div staring directly at Kamakani this whole time.
I can't see.
Has not broken eye contact.
He doesn't have eyes.
Even better, he's boring his own holes into your brain.
Zeph kind of squats down next to Div, kind of like pats him on the shoulder, and says, "Div, it's all right that we don't know what to do currently. I know we all have lots of things that we're trying to do presently. There's just one more thing to add, but we will figure it out."
The hearth pointed me towards, what was it called? Scott, what was it called? The place.
Orolungra.
Orolungra. That place. Yeah, that place. The hearth pointed me toward Orolungra.
You know, the place with the things.
The place with the thing. You know, the place we were originally meant to go to like destroy the death curse. Yeah, that place.
Oh yeah, the death curse. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that whole thing.
My
you know,
mom
the thing
needs
that's
that.
like killing hundreds of people a day. Yeah, that thing.
was the one thing we're here for.
One of now several things that we're here for.
Div kind of he rocks a little bit as he adjusts. Somehow his claws get even tighter around the handle of his mace. You didn't think it was possible, and yet here we are.
Here we are.
Arthur at the anteater meeting.
It's like there's like divots where you
yeah, straight up. The pommel at this point is like has been like melted and like reformed to just the shape of his hands. He says the hearth pointed me to Orolungra. Listen, the rest of you should focus on the death curse. I will handle him.
I look forward to it.
Zephyrus shoots daggers at him again. If you say so. Just please tell me if you need help. Promise me that you'll at least tell me what your plan is or what you're planning on doing so I can be there to assist.
I will. Thank you.
Well, this has what time is it?
It's definitely late.
It's
very
definitely
late.
Well, this has been lovely. I like to space out for 8 hours, recharge. Good night, the both of you. Here's to another day tomorrow. And he turns around and leaves. He's gonna go like sit next to a tree or something. Oh, it's only 4 hours for me. That's right. Pretend I said 4 hours.
No, he's like super tired.
No,
he needs
he's
like an
really
extra...
tired. He will
Yeah.
just zone out for the first 4 hours are for like actual rest. The next 4 hours are just him contemplating existence. It's fine.
Honestly,
he's like
same.
face down in the dirt.
He's gonna go like sit next to Jasper and just be grumbling.
I feel like Jasper is still searching houses. Scott, do these people have mirrors? Like
There's
any
a
reflective
barely
surface?
there's barely houses even left at this point. There's a puddle that reflects your light kind of okay. You find.
I'm just more like anything that Jasper would see himself. His own reflection.
Yeah, there's a puddle you can see that. You can see your reflection in.
Cool. Zephyrus, if you find Jasper, he's just been staring into that puddle. He's got his dancing lights behind him at such an angle that it just reflects his face. He's probably he's removed his shirt and he's just staring at what this jungle has made him. And he's doing a lot of self-reflecting.
Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha. Yeah.
Zeph will probably go up to him and be like, what you up to there?
Just a lot of thinking. I walked by a puddle and thought I saw my dad. Turned out that was me. And I don't know if I'm proud of it or not. I look a lot like him, but which is strange. Half orc and a human looking the same.
Not so strange.
I look like him, and I've always wanted to be like him, but now that I've come out here and started the adventure, I'm not able to do it. He was able to tell these tales and sing these songs and bring up the morale and help everybody out. I feel like I've done nothing but just be here. I'm not in the way, but I'm not pushing forward.
I think I know how you feel.
Like we're all supposed to be this team that's gonna save the world, but what am I but an actor who couldn't get a job? An actor who decided, I can go out and do it. Most I've ever done is some flips off a swing. And I think I can help save the world. I'm in over my head and I'm gonna die out here.
Yeah. Zeph kind of lets out a sigh and kind of plops down next to him. Well, could be worse. Could be alone.
They're alone? So, I mean, I was gonna ask, but do you have anybody back home waiting for you?
Yeah. Zeph,
Mom, dad, siblings, friends, someone you really care about.
That's a question. It's not really anyone except for Syndra, but she's my employer, so it's a bit feels like it doesn't really count.
Don't have any coworkers that you really enjoyed?
What was the butler's name? What was Syndra's butler's name? I feel terrible that I can't remember his name. He was my one coworker. Barely.
It's a great question.
Cool.
Make it up.
Has to scroll back through.
Make it up.
It was like Alfred or some crap. Like
I want to say his name was Gerald.
Gerald.
that feels-
sounds
That sounds right.
That sounds right.
Forgive me if I
was-
got that wrong, person who actually remembers. So you get to watch these in a row.
Yeah, go back to like episode 2
Go back
and
to
figure it
episode
out.
like 1.
Yeah, it was
You
episode
see him
1.
pretty quick in episode 1. Go like 20 minutes in. I think you'll see him.
Yeah. He's there. He was cool. He had a bow tie.
There will be a singular angry comment on this video, and it will be someone correcting us about the name of
Correcting the name.
Gerald.
Oh man.
Just him? It's the only. Just those two. What did you do when you weren't at work?
Work has been kind of my escape from everything. I had an interesting childhood, I would say. It's not. It wasn't that great. I didn't end well. I
Well,
was.
your childhood doesn't have to fully make you who you are. You can still learn and grow even after you're considered an adult.
Feel like I did. I feel like I did, but I was destructive and angry and resentful, and then I tried to better myself by joining the military for some reason. What else do you do? What else do you do?
It's the last war, guys. Come on.
What else do you do in the last war?
Well, be an actor. My dad told me he didn't want me fighting, and I managed to pull out a gig where I could physically use myself to do something other than fight. But I've come out here and realized I might have been better off joining the military and never going back home. Instead of trying to make a name for myself and then
Nephis in the
leave
background, by
and
the
never
way.
come back home.
No.
I had something, I've thrown all of it out to come here, and now I'm nothing.
No.
You say that. It is interesting to think about how our stories parallel each other. I was pulled from active duty to serve something that wasn't exactly fighting, but it felt like something. And I messed that up. I was pulled from the front lines by my squad leader, by one of the captains, and they told me my skills may be better suited as a bodyguard of sorts, which is what I do now, mostly, and it was good work. I was under a captain, or is it captain or lieutenant? I can't remember what I wrote. Sorry, out of character.
Honestly, I can never tell the difference between them all either. It's fine.
Some sort of lieutenant. He wouldn't really tell me a lot about what he did. It was mostly top secret. Colonel, that's the one. His name was Morin. And he was everything for a while.
Whoa, what happened?
I got framed for murder.
Well, yeah, I knew that one already, but remember, we're not saying that out loud. That's between you and me.
Right, that's the secret, the big secret. He's like, looks over his shoulder. Just to make sure.
There's like a frog just staring.
Well, it was just like any other watch, any other day. I left my post for a few minutes, maybe longer. And when I came back, I was held down and restrained and forced to watch as people killed me with my blades.
That's hard.
So now those know.
Well, now it seems like you're here to prove everybody wrong. Make something more of yourself.
It seems so. I think you should listen to those words that you just said and apply them to yourself as well. Because it's not just me, it's not just the others, it's you as well. It's all of us together. But
I guess I just need to figure out my role in all of this. I came in here expecting to morally support everybody and bring a little bit of joy in the time when there is none. But I look around and there's a giant heartless metal monster that doesn't seem to listen to anyone other than the weird silver mannequin that's got like 8 raccoons in it. There's 2 really big ladies who, I'm really honest, are quite intimidating, and I'm very scared to talk to them. There's the really quiet small one who's now kidnapped. And then there's you, who seems pretty normal. And then I find out you're framed for things you didn't do.
Sorry.
And then we come out here, and there are giant bird people who have done unthinkable things and nearly killed me. And now there's this weird old lady who's not an old lady, but really is an old lady, but not. And we have to go kill another bird person. I really should be writing this down.
It'll make a great story one.
And out of all of that, there's this big green guy who doesn't know what he's doing.
All the best.
Anytime he tries, it seems to just fail.
Well, I think, for one, you're selling yourself short. But that's
I'm
okay.
like 6'8". I'm not selling anything short.
That's good. That's very funny.
There's nothing short about me.
Zephyrus just laughs.
Maybe I need to stop trying to be my mom or my dad. And I need to learn to be me.
Jasper.
The hardest part about that is, who is me?
That is a good question. Why don't we both think on that one a while?
Yeah.
We'll get back to that.
Also, did I hear Kamakani's voice from back there? I'm kind of scared.
Just don't.
I'll get the stretcher and the rope.
Orbit. No, it's fine.
No? Okay.
He's helping.
Is he promising to cooperate?
Cooperate's a strong word, but I think everything's under control currently.
Not immediately trying to kill us.
Seems so.
Well, that's a step. Kind of tangential, but...
I'll be keeping my eye on him.
I've got to hand it to you. That was a pretty bad joke. But I think he's got a bit of a leg up on the competition.
Oh, he's going to need foresight to get past us. That wasn't that great.
No, but it helped. Zephyrus, thank you for talking.
Thank you. As Zephyrus kind of gets up to walk away, he looks back, and we'll all be legends someday, Jasper. And for one, I hope that you get to tell us, because I think you'll do it the best.
We'll certainly try. Thank you.
He's gonna go back towards the camp site and just kind of sit.
Jasper's just gonna stick at the puddle, be there for a little bit.
Nephis,
Yeah.
as you are searching through the rubble, and after an hour or so settle down for the night, wherever it is that y'all have decided to camp, You are really the only two in this main, or you're really the only one in this main area right now in this big open space. Like the most open it's been since you were in Chold. And Azaka comes up and she sits next to you. She doesn't really say anything.
Nephis is the past time while she was like digging through rubble and stuff, she was mostly just like avoiding thinking about the fact that she literally almost died from a freaking bug. And has kind of been questioning her morality a little bit more than she usually does. Does Nephis notice the bruises on Azaka?
You would.
Yeah. Okay. She's going to like kind of double take because usually Azaka is not bruised. And be like, oh, because do I know that like they were also fighting something? Do I just
You
know
probably
the
would have
hack?
heard it. Yeah.
Okay.
We were
But do I know
making a
it?
lot of noise.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was a rock.
Dying is not a
Earth
quiet
man.
process.
Jasper also did cast Shatter, which is very loud.
Oh yeah. True. Okay, so Nephis is gonna kind of like look at the bruises, try to think of something to say. She's not the best at talking to people when she's at her best. And now she's like, this person who I've low-key been idolizing for not being able to be hurt is now damaged. But she's going to say, oh, what happened? Where'd you get those from?
The creature that we were fighting while you were attacking that woman, whatever it was she was. She was, or it was, more magical than anything we fought before. That you fought before.
Oh, see. Yeah, magic is definitely a lot harder to defend against. I guess I was surprised because I've never seen you look hurt at all before, so I don't know. It just surprised me.
She nods and she says, you asked how I avoid getting injured. Liru almost died to find that out, even though that was not her intention. I suppose I owe it to you. And then as she looks at you, her face shifts, and you see her grow along her arms, her back swells. She's already impressively tall, and she gets at least a foot taller as her muscles just kind of expand, banded across her entire body until she is completely covered in an orange fur with black stripes. Claws at the ends of her fingers, all of a sudden just crouched in a stance. Her movements have always seemed hat-like to you. So it doesn't seem unusual to see her in this position. It just seems almost even more natural.
I kind of like, it's a surprise to what just happened. I stumble back for a second. And I'm like, well, I guess that's one way to avoid taking damage.
She
Kind of.
shifts back.
Oh, go ahead.
And she smiles and she says, "It helps when almost anything in this jungle could wail on me for hours without me even twitching, and it wouldn't break my skin."
Insane. It's crazy. How were you sorry, this might be a personal question. But were you born like that, or
As far as I can remember, yes.
okay? That's interesting. I'm pretty sure I've never heard, well, maybe heard of, but never seen anything like that before. It's incredibly impressive. I've dreamed of being able to go into a battle without the fear that anything could hurt me and that I could just get done, just defend and fight and get done what I needed to. But it has taken a lot more work for me than simply shifting to another shape, I suppose.
She lets out a little chuckle and she says, "I think what is impressive is learning how to take more hits than would kill most ordinary people 3 times in a row and still be standing afterwards. I can just shift and nothing can harm me. You can really, really take a punch."
Nephis kind of like scoffs, like, well, I mean, I can take a few punches, but as soon as a bug bites me, I'm incapacitated. So
She waves her hand and she says, "You think you're the first person to ever have been dropped by Jolt? The jungle being stronger than you is nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, trying to say that you're more powerful than the jungle, that is shameful. Understanding where you are, I will keep you alive."
probably good advice. But all I have to rely on is my strength. So once it's gone, kind of left with nothing.
She sits there for a second and she says, "You must have some heart. All of you must. Because you're still here. You're still going. You don't know how many adventurers I've brought into Chol. And the first time they almost died, they begged me to take them back to Port Nyanzaru. And yet, this group, you've been almost killed. How many times now? And yet you're all still here. That's a lot more than strength. It's heart. And it's what keeps you alive in Chol.
I do agree. I think to my surprise, many of these people who I didn't know them before, but they definitely have a lot of heart. a lot of courage that I think is very rare
I was talking
in most people.
about you.
Yes. Well, she kind of like looks out into the dimming light, like out past the horizon.
Out past Jasper's weird 5 spotlights over his head.
Yeah. She kind of sits there for a second, and then she says, I was pretty sure I'd lost my heart a while ago. So it's good to hear that at least some of it is left.
She smiles and says, you embody the jungle in a lot of ways. I admire that. It's rare to see from an outsider.
Thank you. I don't really know what to say. Nephis is she's not used to, especially for people she very much respects, she's not used to I don't know how to say it, completely positive feedback, I suppose.
Positive
People she sort of
reinforcement.
idolizes.
Give Nephis compliments.
Well-
2023. Oh my god.
And Azaka, she has like legit been idolizing her since the moment they got in their first battle. So the next words that Azaka says are kind of like, I don't know, sort of echo around in her brain a little bit. She's still trying to process them.
After a pause, Azaka says, we will make it to Orolungra in the next few days. When we get there, I suggest you think about what it is you would ask the Oracle. She sees many things, knows much.
I will definitely think what I would like to ask. Thank you, Azaka.
She nods and then she stands up and she says, if you ever want to learn more about the jungle, I would be more than willing to teach you. And then she walks off.
Wow, I love her so much. She's amazing.
Me when they when them when due to
When
Nephis
they-
being the only and the just like the only.
Yep.
I think more compliments for Nephis.
No, don't. She will die. That is
No.
for her. Yes, but Nephis will sit there for a little while longer, just kind of being like trying to process all the things that she's feeling to the best of her ability. And then she will get up and start trying to make a sort of camp with whoever's getting ready to go to bed.
All right. The next morning, as the sun rises above canopy off to the west. Azaka points out to each of you, you can just barely see off in the distance a small stone structure, or well, it appears small, but not Div. Jason, you already know I'm not talking to you when I use the word see. And you can, she points to it and she says, that is Orolungra. Is where we are going. It's downhill from here. And this is a... safe is not the word. Less dangerous portion of the jungle.
Right.
Perfect.
And then you, I assume, begin moving towards Orolungra.
Do I have a leg now?
You do.
Am I done slowing the party? Awesome.
You have a leg.
I have a perfectly functional
Well, let's
leg, everyone.
Wow.
Freaking go.
Well, you
Oh,
already
that's
had
really
one
cool.
of those. Now you've got two.
I have 2 perfectly functional legs. Congratulations.
Scratch.
Wow, I've got 4 functioning limbs. Look at me, I'm special.
Div has 5 technically.
I
Yeah,
have 6.
guess I'm the only one here with less than 4.
You're lowering the average number of limbs in the room.
You guys are raising it, so I think we're fine.
We need an average.
So as you move
Can
through...
I be tinkering as we walk too? Just like making a thing, like a beast-like thing.
Sure.
Hey,
Awesome.
Stick Man, what you
Oh my
making?
God.
Kamakani like looks over at you. He says, "A actually helpful companion with any luck."
Is he going to be helpful for the whole party, or is he only going to be helpful to you?
It
Because
depends
if
on
it's
whether
only-
or not we agree on our motives here.
Our
We all seem
current
to be going to the
motive?
same place right now, so I would say, yeah.
Current
You got rid of the last
goals?
one of these rather easily, so if it does turn against you, I wouldn't worry about it too much.
I don't remember doing that. All I remember was they were with us, and then they were not.
So seems to be the story.
Rude.
As you move through the jungle, it is in fact downhill, especially in these parts, and it is almost easy for once. You don't have to
Absolutely
constantly
shocking.
to move around trees. They have all been cleared for this top area. There is still vines and foliage covering the ground, but it's much clearer, and you can see that you are kind of on a relatively flat area that is slowly sloping downwards towards where you're going. And as you move through with this view that you have above, you can see all kinds of creatures flitting through, colorful birds, monkeys that seem to have wings, and reptilian creatures that flit around the trees, all beneath you and then sometimes flying above you. The day wears on. About halfway through, the rain picks up again.
Shocker.
And with no trees to protect you, you all become drenched rather quickly. But
Rose.
at least the rain, it allows you to have this kind of rain, as heavy as it comes down, just like pounding against you, gives you a reprieve from the bugs, as well as fills up your drinking water and allows you to actually drag your canoes across the ground because it creates enough of a mud you don't have to lift them.
Kamakani seems to be genuinely enjoying himself.
Stop that.
Good for him.
We're on a mission, not a camping retreat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was the walking getting in your way?
No,
I do love
that
the
goofy
rain. It
look
reminds
on
me
your
of the
face.
coasts on Breland.
Oh Lord, there he goes again.
Have you ever been to the Breelish coast, Jasper?
Heard stories. Yours
It's
more times
quite
than I care.
lovely. I haven't been back
Jasper,
since
technically,
the war
technically,
ended.
you live on that coast.
Does Jasper know this? No. He's heard stories.
He failed his geography class.
Yeah,
He has a liberal arts major.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I was too busy being cool.
That's so fair. That is so fair, bestie. Zephyrus is like doing the math in his head. He's like,
All of you who aren't Jasper are fully aware that Sharn is on the hilt of the Dagger River, which connects directly
next
to the
to it.
coastline. Yeah. It's like you can take a ship from Sharn to the ocean really easily.
It's
And in
very
fact,
easily.
Sharn is actually a major port.
Shh, no
Yeah,
one tell
I've been
him.
too busy being cool. Your point? Also, partly Jasper didn't hear many words that came out of Kamakani's mouth.
That's so fair. I wouldn't listen to the words that came out of Kamakani's mouth either.
Every time Kamikani speaks, it's just white noise for everybody else.
Literally, it
Yeah,
should be.
it's the parents speaking in the peanuts. Womp, 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 womp.
As the light begins to fade from the horizon, Azaka suggests that you take a break, slow down, as in general, a lot of the predators that are out to eat you are going to be out at night. And if you're moving, there's a much higher chance of them coming after you.
And we stop.
As you're setting up your camp, which is something that has become a very familiar set of movements to each of you at this point, Hamakani, you feel sharp stabs of pain shoot down your back, all the way down your spine.
Ew.
Oh,
He kind of straightens. Automatically reaches like over his shoulder to feel what's going on.
The rest of you turn with the sudden movement, and you see that Kamakani's figure has begun to blur. Kamakani, that pain spreads outwards from your spine out across your entire body. Just absolutely mind-numbingly painful.
oh no.
Oh. His form sort of more than just flickers, blurs between more than just Kamakani. All of them have their eyes wide, but are too shocked and surprised to draw breath to scream.
As you see the figures, there's kind of like the shift. It seems like two arms kind of pull themselves out from where Kamakani is standing, and then slowly, just in this almost spiral way at first, another image just slowly rips itself out from Kamakani. And then, as you see, it forms, becoming solid, like Kamakani, but with no living skin. All of it is stretched tight and cold And then it lifts as it separates itself, shakes its head, stands tall, smiles, which just with holes in its cheeks. It says, "Sorry to drop in on you like this. I'm surprised to find you're all still alive. It's been quite a minute since we were over at the Heart. Oh, wasn't that a time?"
Oh,
The constellation.
Excuse me,
drops.
do I know you?
Oh, I suppose. Does this make you uncomfortable, you poor pathetic fool?
Not
And he
really, you
snaps
just
his fingers
don't look
and
familiar.
and you see Kamakani all of a sudden in the flesh.
Oh,
her?
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
You really are such a pathetic oaf, aren't you? Honestly.
You have no idea how dumb I am.
I suppose you're right about
Zephyrus,
that.
Zephyrus steps in front of Jasper and says, "Pardon me, but that is not any way to speak to my friend."
Oh, and do tell me what you're going to do to stop me. Please. I'm excited.
I'm not sure quite yet. I'm figuring it out, but I'm really thinking about it.
Ah, I can see. Does it hurt to have to think that hard? Really?
Yes, it hurts.
Jasper.
What? He didn't let me talk
The-
last time. I want to talk this time.
That's
And
fair.
this is entertaining for me. This time,
Nephis will speak up and say, "What do you want?"
oh, I just happened to need the services that I provide. And he nods towards Constellation's dropped body.
Mm.
The constellation is settling into a not quite familiar, but now recognized form that russet-haired child. They push themselves up to kneel.
Ah, there we are. Hello, Angel. Now, I don't have any business with you this time. Are you fools still intent upon trying to end this death curse?
Are you still intent on trying to stop us?
Trying to stop you?
Exactly what are you doing then?
I told you. I'm here for the convenience of it.
The convenience of what? You here to pick up a quick mug of quick drink, quick snack? Because
Just
no
keep
convenience
trying.
is
You'll
here.
get there one day. Come on.
I mean, if you want me to figure out what you were trying to do, being vague is not going to help.
You think I want you to figure out what I'm trying to do? No, I'm afraid that would probably kill you to have to think that hard.
Try me.
I already did. See if you can figure it out. No, I just came by for a lovely little chat. I think I'll be leaving now, though. You can keep my angel. After all, you do keep such a wonderful eye on
You mean
me.
I get to keep doing the thing I had already planned on doing? You're such a grateful false god.
Oh, don't make me kill you. You speak that way again, and you are dead. Understood.
I mean, I'll try, but I don't know if I'm smart enough to figure that one out, am I?
Zephyrus has his knives out just in case. Connie tries to try any crap.
He just like, Zephyrus, you got your knives out, and he just laughs and he says, "You think I need to move to get it?" That's all right. And then in an instant, he's standing right behind Jasper, and he just whispers in your ear, "Hefman," and then steps back. You didn't see him move. You didn't see anything at all. He was just there.
Jasper just waves his hand in front of his nose.
It does smell like rotting flesh. Like, this dude is dead.
Super
You've
dead.
never smelled a corpse
Super
before.
dead.
He's real dead.
Smell chamber pots that smell better than you. Woo!
He places a hand on the side of your face, and he just like rakes his fingers across, and cold shoots through your entire body. Jasper, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, pick me in the front row.
8.
8. Jasper,
Yeah.
you are paralyzed.
Oh, pick me in the front row.
You cannot move at all. Like, your muscles just freeze entirely.
Can I cast Mind Sliver?
You can try. Yeah. What does that do?
Don't do that.
I'm gonna
Please
do
don't.
it.
Can we
Please,
stop
don't fight
antagonizing
him.
the Lich, please? We are level 4.
He's antagonizing me.
He's a Lich.
I want to drive a disorientating spike of psychic energy into the mind of one creature in my range. Can I please do that?
It's a Lich, and it's Scott.
Is it a spell or is it an ability?
It's a
It's a-
cantrip.
It's a cantrip.
He just like looks to you, and the instant you form the energy, it's gone. Just like slapped back so hard you stumble backwards, tripping, like almost tripping over a root. He says, "That was what you were going to try and use on me, Leslie. You are just as pathetic as he is. And here I was just going to have a pleasant little conversation and walk away."
Zephyrus is like wincing. He's got splitting pain in his head.
And he just chuckles and he says, "I'm in a forgiving mood because that was much faster than I expected that particular process to go." And he looks over his hand and he says, "Really, quite innovative if you think about it." And he's just talking to himself. "They won't be able to stop me. None of them. None of them at all. Ah, yes, this will do nicely." And then he like snaps his attention back. "I'm going to leave now. If any one of you says a word, I'd kill the green one. Bye." And then he smiles again, and as he does, his flesh just... And he walks off into the jungle.
Scared. Afraid. Personally.
Div kind of unconsciously takes a few steps after him.
Can I
As you like go after, as he's like walking away, he says, "And remember, I'm always watching you."
Zephyrus flips the bird as he walks away. And then immediately drops down to Jasper to try and like...
Oh, Jasper, you also took 11
Rolls
points of cold
dice.
damage.
You know, for being in an incredibly hot jungle, I have nearly froze to death twice, which is strange. Still don't like that guy.
You're right.
I think for future reference, it's best to not antagonize him.
Future
He
reference.
antagonized me first.
He antagonized us first.
He did it first.
As soon as anyone says anything mean to you, you just automatically say something back.
Is
Yes.
that not what you're supposed to do?
That's just how it is.
You either punch them, which is not a good idea in this
I don't
case,
think that would work.
or you secretly plan your revenge. You do not engage with words. That's what I've learned.
I didn't engage
So-
with words. I engaged with psychic attacks.
You know, I had a bunch of words to say to him, but he showed up and then all the words left and it was just nanny nanny poo poo.
It
So
didn't really work.
In that case, that's
In
when
my-
you stay quiet.
I did.
See?
the
I
more
used
he
to
talks to
mind.
me, the less he talks to the constellation. Or at least communicates out loud.
Is Jeff
Well,
still
The
paralyzed?
constellation is still kneeling there.
Mm. Is Jasper still paralyzed on the ground?
No, Jasper can move now.
Okay.
When Jasper was
fantastic.
paralyzed, Jasper couldn't speak.
Oh yeah. That
that's why I was being really quiet.
makes
It's the quickest way to get me to shut up.
Yeah, maybe we should paralyze you more often.
You should.
no. Please do not.
I mean, just paralyze me for the whole session. I'll just go take a nap. Free my Thursday nights back up.
Zephyrus kind of looks at the constellation. I can't remember. Do we know the angel's true name, or is it just the angel to us?
You don't know
I don't know.
their name. As
They look like a
far as I
Maxwell.
believe.
Maximilian. Maxwell. I don't think it's Max.
Zephyrus is gonna go over to them and kind of like tap them on the head, maybe very gently. So
The angel looks up at you. They look like they're looking directly through you, or maybe into you.
hello, we met earlier. You're right.
The angel cocks their head. Where did he go?
Not sure. It's not exactly important as of now.
Did he say that we could move?
Yes.
I believe so.
Said we are free to continue on.
Good. This is not very comfortable.
So why do you do it?
This is what you do for a god.
He's not a god, though. That's
Don't
a
let him hear
story
you
for
say
another
that.
time. Huh, he already did once. And it's cold.
And you got paralyzed, so maybe let's just continue on.
A person mad with power does not constitute a god. One follower does not constitute a god. Two, however, maybe.
You are strange angels.
I'm not an angel. I'm a demon. Arr.
The constellation is going to attack you.
Oh my god!
That's fine.
Can I physically restrain them?
Yeah.
Cool.
Or you could try to.
Okay.
We'll drop kick a child.
I'm not gonna drop kick the child.
I
I'm just
will
gonna
drop
hold
kick
them
the
back.
child.
Don't kick the child, Jasper.
Your Honor, I drop kicked that child in self-defense.
In this case,
His-
it would be.
Yes.
I got an 18 for my strength check.
I got a 11. How specifically, like where and how do you restrain
Just like
the angel?
having on to their arms and like trying to maybe one arm like around their chest or something, and just being like, no, we're not going to do that. He was joking. That was
It was a joke. We're not
Uh,
angels.
They're like extremely light. Lighter than should be possible. And they go very still, almost boneless in your arms when you touch them.
Zephyrus is a little a little unnerved by it and kind of gently lets go and puts out his hands. It's like, we good? Sorry. It's just, he's my friend, and I was afraid that you were going to hurt him.
The angel cocks their head to one side, and then to the other. Isn't that what you want?
No. Why would I want that?
You told me you were angels.
I don't.
You told me you were gods.
I don't remember saying that. I would just say that we're all walking the same path currently.
We are all walking on the same ground that your perceived God and you, an angel, walk. Do with that as you will.
All right. When is he coming back?
Whenever he returns.
The constellation sort of kneels back down again.
No, he said for us to continue.
Where are we going? Where are we going to?
Save the world.
Zephyrus, where are we going again?
Orolungra.
Who's Zephyrus?
Me.
This one.
Oh,
Very uncomfy.
I forgot you are the one who likes lies.
Not a great time right now to mention that. My name is Zeph.
Fire.
Let's go, shall we?
You continue moving forward along this plateau, or well, actually, it's the night right now. So I guess you're gonna have to wait to do that until the morning. But
Jasper kind of pulls Zephyrus to the side. What kind of lies exactly are they talking about? What did you tell them?
I didn't tell them anything except for what you know. I haven't told anyone else about this. We only know. It's not. Okay, Zephyrus isn't my real name. Zephyrus is my real name. And there's reasons for it. Like I said, I was framed for murder.
That's the only lie you're going on about. I would like to trust you on that.
I was telling you the truth. I have told you the truth, Jasper. You can trust me on that.
Okay.
I just don't know how everyone else will react. I don't know what their background is. So.
Again, we're traveling with a weird silver mannequin with like 8 raccoons in it.
Yes, but I don't know if
you not having a real name and having a past, I don't think is going to be that big of a problem.
It was a big thing back where I come from, and I don't know who.
Oh, we won't tell the military about it.
I don't know if anyone else.
Which, if you look at our team, is half of us. So Jasper just puts his finger up his mouth.
Exactly.
All right. Good night, Zephyrus.
Good night. Thank you, Jasper. Zephyrus goes to bed very stressed.
All right. Anything
Um,
else?
I have a thing. Possibly. Uh, Div has not really moved since the Lich left. He followed Kamakani approximately to the edge of where their campsite is, and has just kind of been staring out into the woods, gripping his mace and his shield. His posture is very unlike him. It's uh, it's very hunched, and uh, his heavy tail is kind of scraping from side to side along the ground. It's making grooves. It's been making grooves in the mud behind him. Um, there's the occasional spark in the holes in his face where his eyes should be. Um, and if anyone gets close, they can hear something that's he's never made noises like that before. This sort of low rumbling hissing noise, as streams of steam kind of escape from between his barely cracked jaw, which he doesn't open his jaws barely ever. He's stock still, just sitting there, occasionally mumbling things to himself in Elvish, petty curses, wishing ill upon the Lich, wishing its soul would be put to rest, wishing something would happen to it. He's not really paying attention to anything else around him.
Valid reaction.
Very valid.
And if left undisturbed, that's who we will remain all night.
All night? You can
All
curse
night.
a lich all night?
He can and will.
All right, well,
He's a religious man. He can do what he wants.
If
Got the power of God and enemy on his side.
after several hours long past where everybody else has gone to sleep, you just staring outwards, you notice a small figure on the ground.
Div kind of takes a second to register it in his uh, field of view. It kind of startles him a little bit. He takes half a step back to look down at it. His jaw kind of snaps shut again.
It cocks its head to the side.
He replies in kind.
You can sense curiosity coming from it.
He slowly kneels down, kind of wincing at the harsh creak of his joints, how painful they sound, how painful they feel. Um, to, kind of get more to eye level with this thing. Says, hello.
it cocks its head the other direction, but you recognize some form of greeting coming from it.
He kind of he takes a second to look around at everybody in the camp. Kind of double checks it that everybody is sleeping, that they're safe. Before he looks back at it, he offers it a hand to climb up if it wants to. He says, "I am sorry. I am full of thoughts."
It reaches out towards your hand, and you can sense from it that it has a desire to help, and it starts pointing excitedly in the direction of Orolungra.
Div kind of lets out a soft chuff of sorts. It's the closest he can really get to a laugh. He says, "Yes, I know we are headed there. I will. I am sure there is something there."
It nods and then nods again, and then it taps your palm. And sprouting from your palm is just comes out from the metal itself, almost forming right on top of it. There forms an orchid that is purple and orange.
Oh.
And it taps that and then points to Orolungra again. And then disappears.
Div,
Also, you are going to have the bless spell cast on you, but its extension is it's going to activate the next time you do a skill check in the next 24 hours.
bless plus. Okay.
And it's still only one activation, but it's just longer in between.
Right. Okay. Div looks at this orchid in his hand, kind of lifts it up gingerly towards his face, trying not to make it burn, as things tend to do in his hands.
You can somehow feel the coolness of it and the shape around it. It seems solid, more solid than a flower. There's something around it. It just echoes, vibrates with energy.
Div will kind of gingerly shift how he's holding it, get a better grip on the stem and whatnot, kind of, still treating it as gingerly as possible, kind of feel up what it might be made out of, because it's not plant.
It's magic plant.
It's magic plant.
It seems like it is a plant, but it's more.
Odd plant.
Odd plant, strange plant, magic plant.
Magic plant. Don't kick a magic plant in the. I'll stop. What is it? Gift horse in the mouth?
Yeah.
Magic plant? Yeah. Okay.
Div is kind of filled with curiosity. He moves to sit against a tree somewhere where he can keep everybody in his field of view. And he's just kind of he just spends the rest of the night turning that flower over in his hands.
Make me a perception check, Div.
Those things that I'm really good at. Historically, those things I'm really good at. It's a 12.
As you go to sit down, a vine slides out of the way.
Sorry, both Div and I just blue screened. Windows error noise. Okay. He pauses and turns around, uh, looks at the vine. If he could squint, he probably would be.
Seems like a normal
he'll-
vine. It's not moving
He
anymore.
will. But does it move if he holds the flower out to it?
What are you doing? Are you just kind of like leaning near it?
Yeah.
You know,
And it's just a normal vine?
seems like it.
I've never trusted you a day in my life, and I'm not going to start now. Okay. Um, and it doesn't move if Div like touches it? Okay. We're, it's like 2 a.m. We're not going to think about that. Um, yeah, you know what? We're just gonna worry about that tomorrow. Yeah, Div is gonna just sit down again like he was intending to do originally before the vine moved and just look over the camp and turn over this flower in his hands.
As you go, you like kind of like take this like step around before you sit down, and there's a vine, and it seems like it almost just lifts up right above your head before drooping back down as you sit down. The next day, all of you wake up and once again begin moving towards Orolungra. Oddly enough, it seems like it's even easier than it was yesterday. Even yesterday you still had to kick these large vines out of your way and occasionally, wade your way through this just thick section of jungle foliage, but today that you don't encounter any vines that block your way. They always seem to be right next to you or just around a rock nearby.
Interesting.
Very interesting, that is.
Very interesting.
The same is true for the next day. As you come to the end of these plateaus now, pretty much getting right back into, or ending right before you're back into the jungle. Then when you enter into the main jungle the day after that, it still seems like the vines are just tall enough. You don't have to hack them out of your way. The trees almost seem to form a convenient path for you.
Do they
Do they?
now?
This is all nice and pretty convenient, guys. It seems a lot easier today.
Seems it's been easy for the past 3 days. I'm suspicious. Osaka, what say you?
She smiles, and all she says is, "We're getting closer to Orolungra. I suggest you let go of what you expect reality to do."
Fair enough.
Honestly, since I've landed on this island area place, half of the planet, reality's been a bit shifted for me. So, you know what? Let's go.
The angel who has said nothing for 3 days continues to say nothing.
I check up on them. I like walk next to them and be like, well, how are you today?
The angel says nothing.
You need anything?
The angel does not realize you are talking to them and says nothing.
Pardon me. Trying to think of a nickname. Jasper, what's a good nickname?
I don't know. You keep going with Max.
Trying to think of something clever with an angel. Jelly? Is that anything?
Don't remind me of jelly.
Oh no. Whatever, we'll figure that out later. Zephyrus like taps on the angel's shoulder this time.
The angel stops walking, and sort of stands up straighter.
Hello. Doing all right?
Those like wide blank eyes turn to you. They say, "We have been walking for a long time."
That is
Yeah.
true. Do you need a rest?
I'm all right.
Any snacks? Water?
I am sure wherever we are, I still don't need sustenance.
Right.
I think you'd still need to eat.
I have not done anything. They look confused.
You have existed. That takes a lot. It takes energy. You gotta keep.
You have not asked me to do anything.
No, but you're still existing. You're breathing. You're walking. Still takes
In
fuel to
Dolor, it
do.
is just illusions.
I don't like this little guy.
We can't hold it against him. Can't.
Oh, but I can't unbrainwash a child. I can.
I can't either. Here we are. I'm saying this quietly.
Yeah. Zephyrus and Jasper just whispering at each other. Have the gossiping girls and then just the boys.
The gossiping.
The girls are fighting and the boys are conspiring. Don't worry.
Zephyrus takes like one of the little like rain catcher things, like where it stores the water, and holds it out to the angel. It's like, at least drink something and maybe eat something for just to reassure us.
What do you want in return? I will be good.
The satisfaction of
Hold
seeing...
on. I've got an idea.
Oh,
We want you to drink that, and that's a command.
The angel looks almost relieved. Whatever like vague confusion had been present across their face snaps into something like understandable and quick, almost smart, and they like drink the water too quickly to be healthy, probably, but they do drink it.
I didn't like that,
I didn't need
but you know, I think that's what's gonna have to happen.
Zephyrus hands a piece of like jerky or something. Hands them some jerky and is like, there's that as well. That as well.
A little nervously, the angel reaches out and takes it, as if waiting for you to change your mind. And when you don't, they gobble that down too.
Good. Well, we'll be here if you need anything or you have questions. Zephyrus just goes back to walking. It's become too awkward. Does not know what to do.
Zephyrus and Jasper adopt a child in the worst way possible.
And whenever you're hungry or thirsty again, you are to ask us for food and water.
What he said. That's very important. Don't forget that.
Did you want to say something?
No, I was just gonna do some vibes, but they're not important. So
the next day, you come to a river, and right down the middle is right about where you hit it. There's a spot that only takes. It's fairly easy to cross, as there's. Azaka told you she was expecting to have to cross on canoes, but as you hit this patch, she kind of pokes into it, and there's only maybe an inch of water there.
some god is looking out for us, which is a change of pace.
Which one?
Hopefully a real one.
A nice one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
As
welcome.
you cross past this, and then you take one more rest. And at this point, you can see you've kind of come down, and now you can see this is sort of almost a low, really slow forming valley, and you are coming back up, and so you can see up above you, barely through the tree lines off in the distance, is the structure of Orolungra, and that fades from your view as the light goes behind the mountains, which Azaka tells you are called the Mist Cliff Mountains. And it almost seems like the mountains take up the entire horizon, but they come out almost framing this section of land that you're in. Orolungra is set almost in the center of that, near the sides going up. And she looks to all of you and she says, "Tomorrow, you will make it to Orolungra. I have already been there. I cannot help you once you get there. If you are worthy, you will be allowed entry." If you are not, then you will not be.
Will you
The
be here to?
long pause was way reassuring there. As thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Will
Here.
you be out here to help us to return home?
I will be here when you are ready to return. I suggest you leave first light in the morning.
Oh boy. Sounds like a plan. Us leaving can't come quick enough.
Mm.
Nephis is going to kind of go up to Azaka and under her breath be like, what if I don't know what to ask?
She smiles and she looks at you and she says, I didn't either. Sometimes it's not straightforward.
I feel like I'm gonna waste my one question. You know, you get up there, what question should I ask? And then she tells me this super crucial question that I would love to know the answer. And then, oh, nope, no more answers for you. And then I waste it.
One question? No,
One
no,
question?
that is ridiculous. No, it's one time. One time you get to go to the Oracle. I was
Oh,
there for probably an hour.
okay.
She is not so trivial as some of the stories that you would have people hear. But if you do have something you want to know, this is the only chance you will ever have to speak with this Oracle.
Mm.
And she taps the tiger mask at her side and she says, she told me where to find this. Little
Smart
did I
lady.
know, it would lead me to all of you.
Oh, you do care.
She nods and she says, I am indebted to all of you for helping me retrieve this. Now, first light. Think long, think hard.
Thank you for all you've done for us and for all the scrapes you've gotten us out of. Yeah.
She bows to you, just all of you in general, and she says, it is an honor to serve those whose intentions are just. I have shown many treasure hunters into the jungles, but few who are here for good reasons. It is a rare privilege for me.
Oh. Guess we'll see how it goes.
Anyway, any stuff? All right.
Quietly goes to sleep.
Before Jasper sleeps, he pulls his dagger out and he cuts his ponytail off and tries to trim his facial hair down.
I have a ton with that after.
Yeah. You know,
Zephyrus
it's
has the worst mullet.
it's been a long time since I've been. I mean, this isn't exactly a clean shave, but I've always kept the ponytail and the long beard. It's time to finally change it up.
That's fair.
And as after he's done, he flips the dagger around and hands it your way. Good luck.
Thank you. I'll do my best. Zephyrus is gonna kind of try to like trim his hair at least. His roots are coming in, and they are the pink is slowly fading. He's trying to pull it off. He's trying to make it look classy.
You gotta look nice when you meet the Oracle.
It's like barely pink. It's like almost blonde at this point.
So the next morning, you wake up to a strangely sunny day.
Mm.
In Cholt, and
Vicious.
Mm.
begin
Oh.
your
I
hike.
guess the gods are smiling upon us this time.
Mm.
Tell everybody I'm on my
On my way.
New friends and new places to see.
We're sure
So-
on our way. I'm so excited.
So you move forward, leaving Azaka behind, and there seems to be just a feel to this place. This close, like something. Can't quite put your finger on, except for you, Div. You recall exactly what this feels like, as you recall a voice suddenly that you heard whispering in your head, one that just thunders with power without being loud. It says, "It seems you have lost your sight." This is a memory. But careful, child. I will restore it to you. The world is not a nice place to return to. But you will make it better. And that's all you remember hearing. Before all of a sudden, sounds formed into shapes. And space began to make sense to you again.
Um, there's uh Div. There's a hitch in Div's step um, as he walks and recalls this. Um, he kind of he unconsciously reaches um, into uh, the pouch that he stuck the orchid in. Um, he doesn't pull it out. He just kind of rolls its stem delicately between his fingers while it's in his pocket. Um, and his other hand goes to his medallion. Um, as he just silently prays that, this is where we're supposed to be. This is what we're supposed to be doing. There are answers here. There have to be answers here.
So you continue to make your way forward, and as you are going around, you start to see that the jungle in this area is populated by brightly colored flowers of all varieties, just coming from vines off the side of trees. Even the fungal growths of moss seem to be more colorful than in other places that you've been. And as you move forward, you have an easy landmark, because this temple-like structure comes visible to you as you come closer and closer. You can hear birds chirping and colorful animals flying around. You haven't heard a roar since last night. And as you get closer, suddenly the clearing opens up. And you can see that there's a massive brick and stone ziggurat that rises from the jungle, and then two staircases angle up across the front, one on the right, the other on the left. They meet at a landing on a second level, and then it goes up. It repeats that layout of stairs, sets of stairs, and then a landing for 3 levels total, each of which getting progressively smaller. And then you can see that the very top of it seems to be an enclosed, almost temple-like structure with pillars forming around the outside, and you can't quite see the details. It seems like it's close enough that you should be able to, but as you narrow your eyes towards it, you can't quite make it out at the top. The first set of stairs, that first landing, you can see is covered in vines, completely covered in vines, have thorns sticking out of them just everywhere. These thorny vines still with flowers on them as well. And looking up, you feel just a sense of peace here, of tranquility. The angel, as you take a step forward out of the tree, Kamakani stops existing. He's completely gone.
He's gone.
And we will
He's
stop
gone.
there for today.
Oh, joyous day!
We'll see y'all
He's
again
gone.
next week. Have a great week, y'all. Bye.